Hello, my name is Jean and I am a knitter. I have 11 rows left to go on my shawl, and I've been weighing my cake of yarn after every row or two, and I know how many grams I use up per row, and I know that I am not going to lose at Yarn Chicken. It's more of a yarn calculation at this point. Um, Next week, we will work on blocking this piece. I will get it wet. I will use my rods and stretch it out on a big mat and pin it down and let it dry, and it will not look like the wadded up mess that it looks like now. The pattern will be very clear, and I'm just looking forward to it. It's going to be large, it's going to be wool, it's going to be greens and grays, and I've waved it in front of you enough. I was thinking about test knits and shop models. When you work for a yarn shop, you're often asked to knit a model for the shop. When I worked for yarn shops, the going rate was store credit for the value of the yarn that you used for the model, or after the model had been on display for a number of months, usually 6, you could take it down and take it home. I did several models, and 2 stick in my mind. One was a Lopi, where I believe there was an error in the directions, and you ended up with this thing that didn't decrease at the right rate for a raglan decrease, and it would have fit a giraffe. When I took it down off the wall, I ripped it out because it was knit from the bottom up, ripped it back to the beginning of the raglan decreases, decreased it at the correct rate, and gave it to my father for Christmas. I have a picture of my father wearing that sweater, and I cherish that picture. It looks like classic dad. The other model that I have good memories of, my best friend was working at the shop. I went away to college, she worked there, she left, and I came back home from college. And when she left a model of a baby Afghan that was half done. She said, I'm not going to be able to finish it. I'm leaving. Here, boom. So I took that pile of yarn and half-finished Afghan, and I finished it up, and it hung on the walls of the shop. Sold a few Afghan patterns and plenty of yarn. Well, she gave birth, and I went to the shop, took the Afghan off the wall. It was covered in dust, of course, 6 months or more up on the wall. Nope, sorry, this is mine. I'm taking it down. Washed it, packaged it up, and gave it to her as a baby gift. She said, I know where this came from. And I knew she would appreciate it because she and her mom used to sit side by side, and one of them knit right-handed and one of them knit left-handed, and they would just pass something back and forth, and they wouldn't have to turn around and purl. But I knew she would understand that she had done part of it and I had done part of it. I also knit for her a little baby Henley in gray because she was a redhead, and I knew her child would also be a redhead. Don't ask, but I was right. Her child, however, also had jaundice and was kind of yellow-green, and the colors did not go together. You couldn't put her in anything pink, you couldn't put her in anything green, but if you put her in something gray, she looked phenomenal. So I have this little gray Henley, and I give it to her for a baby gift. She says, That was the only thing I would put that child in when we went out in public, or people would be like, oh, she's going to die. Oh, is she getting better? Oh my goodness, she doesn't look. Oh my goodness, what a lovely child you have. All that kind of stuff. But when you put her in gray, she didn't look like she was going to die in the next 6 hours. Well, she didn't die in the next 6 hours. She actually got quite well. She had some phototherapy. That was all it took. And she's just fine and healthy and married and happy to this day. But that wasn't the only baby gift. One of them was a sample, a shop model that I made for her. Well, the two of us made. And we just laughed over it. Because why not? But I was thinking, do I ever want to do a test knit? And I would have to say the answer is no. I don't think I will ever do a test knit for anyone because I don't really like being the guinea pig. I don't like being the test knitter. I'm not one who's going to knit for size inclusivity. I no longer enjoy or care to knit to a date deadline. I'm quite capable of giving good feedback on the clarity and accuracy of a pattern, but test knitting, it's not going to happen. Something like this, yeah, I love it. I like to go to see a pattern and see that many other people have knit the pattern and see how the other people have chosen to work with colors or textures or different yarns. I don't like being the first person to do something. I want other people to have already traveled that path. If I'm going to be the first person, it's going to be because it's something that I have designed. And that's really just the way I go. So I'm going to keep knitting. 11 rows left. And I hope you keep knitting too.